What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Speaking Nerd podcast, where we talk about all things nerdy. And today we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, apparently, the guys recorded another episode of this exact same topic, I believe a few weeks ago, and the recording got tarnished.
We blame Spotify.
Oh, yes.
We blame Spotify because they were trying to destroy us.
Apparently, it didn't pick anybody's voice up except Alter,
which is a tragedy.
Let's go. The only one important.
And so they couldn't post it, and I was not in that episode either. I was busy. I had American person things to do, and
American person
stupid things that we could probably avoid doing. That's what American think. But
that's most of America.
So I was busy that day, so they kind of took things at the helm, and needless to say, it did not work out. So I am here to save the day.
It was boring.
So we're kind of going to give our honest thoughts and opinions on No Way Home, and that's really it. And we're just going to have a discussion. So
we are going to spoil the movie. So if you haven't seen it for whatever reason, then just click off right now.
Why you're watching our channel and haven't seen it? Why are you here? No,
why did you click on a video that said Spider-Man No Way Home if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home? If you did that, what are you doing with your life?
Because if you don't go see that movie, you will have no way home, and I will track you down.
Yeah. Because I will go full on Patrick Bateman, or
oh God, no, that's it's too far.
I will go
Patrick Bateman. Well, who wants to go first and talk about their thoughts of the movie?
Fucking sucked. Worst movie ever.
Okay.
All right.
Okay then.
Do you want to go next, AJ?
Who's going? Jesus.
Yeah, I'll go. Shut up, Alter. Someone muted. I loved it. I've seen it twice in theaters. Hopefully I can. I'll get it once it's on Blu-ray at least. Just really great movie. Great story. I thought Tom Holland outdid himself. And of course, Alter, shut up. And obviously, seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire just made my year. All around great movie. When I saw Andrew, I was tearing up. I gotta admit, great movie.
Well, I'm especially curious because me and AJ have talked about the movie before.
Yes.
But I'm curious, Marvel, what your thoughts are, because I have not heard what you thought of the movie.
What is there to be said other than I loved it? I loved just about everything about it. It does have a few issues, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go along in the video. But just overall, it is it's the best of Tom Holland's trilogy and an amazing love letter to not only Spider-Man but also Spider-Man movies over the course of 20 years. And it's
you could say it's amazing, spectacular. And such an amazing fantasy.
Yeah. I saw it twice in theaters. I saw it the other time I saw it on New Year's Eve. So, and I would go see it again.
Same.
Because I think the way to experience this movie is on the big screen with a whole crowd of people.
Yeah. And, you really need that experience.
We're gonna ignore that. But
yeah, I've elected to ignore that.
There's group chat things going on as we're speaking, ladies and gentlemen. I actually think it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, awesome movie. I love it so much. What do you think, Swifty?
I'm
I
kind of
joined
in.
that school.
I'm kind of. I'm kind of in your kind of field here of like. I think it was an amazing love letter to Spider-Man and Spider-Man movies, but I agree there was some issues with it, and like you said, we'll get into them. But I think overall, I mean, it's in my top Spider-Man movies by far.
Absolutely.
It was a fantastically acted movie. All of the actors did great jobs. I don't know what kind of drug John Watts was taking that he decided to do this in the last movie and make the acting like superb, but the acting was incredible from everybody.
Also,
and
can I
ahead.
add something? I didn't want to interrupt you, but
I'll finish after.
I felt like there was some really good filmmaking in this movie. Like surprisingly good filmmaking for like a. Okay, I don't like to crap on Marvel movies because I love Marvel movies, but I feel like there were some scenes that were surprisingly well directed and filmed.
No,
Like,
I know what you're saying because
like
it
the
feels
fir-
like kind of rehashing of the same
Mhm.
stories. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
like the first scene, which was like a one shot, as his like life was spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
I like that, and then like the scene where he had Spidey sense.
Yeah.
And then he had the big fight with Green Goblin,
That was
like
great.
where he broke through the floor several times. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, all I was going to say is I think Tom Holland acted his complete best in this movie, and
Totally.
he played such an emotional role in this movie, and this movie I rate it so high because it does exactly what Spider-Man 2 did so great, which was explore the duality of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and why he can either, accept the risks of being both, or he has to choose one and let everything go. And in this one, he chooses to be just one and let everything go. And there was in the script, obviously, if you guys saw that leaked, the ending of the script, it actually says, Peter Parker is dead, but Spider-Man lives on. And
yeah, I really
thought
like
that was incredible. Because it's so true to the character, I think. And this movie makes me want to see more Tom Holland. And I was not a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. And I don't think he was directed properly from John Watts the first two movies, and that's why I kind of disliked him. But this movie makes me want to see more because he really spread his wings and showed what he can do. And I was really happy with how he acted. I think he should pat himself on the back for such a great job. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like No Way Home was like the perfect bow, wrap bow, whatever, on the trilogy, because it kind of it made everything that happened in the first two movies matter and make sense.
Yeah.
Like the journey he was going through, which wasn't really clear to me.
Yeah.
When I was watching the movies, because it felt a bit messy at times.
Yeah.
But like after seeing No Way Home, it felt complete.
Well, he's finally Spider-Man in this movie.
Yeah.
The other two, he was building up to it. I don't think he was Spider-Man yet.
Yeah,
he had the costume, but he didn't have the great power comes with great responsibility part.
Yeah, and they definitely did they delivered the great power, great responsibility spiel in an interesting and fresh way, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie.
All right. I guess we'll talk. We'll get the elephant out of the room first. We'll talk about Toby and Andrew and just kind of make our way through.
Well, they really just ignored me. Crazy.
Alter, I legitimately thought that you were serious when you said I absolutely hated it.
No.
Okay. Well, go ahead. No, I want to. I
You should-
want to hear what you have to say, but I legitimately thought that you were serious.
It's my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's the best thing from the MCU we've seen since the first Iron Man.
Okay. I was gonna say, how do you think this is dog crap? I mean, your opinion, but I was just like, there's no way that Alter thinks this is the
I
worst.
made the
but I
same
do
joke in
believe
a Spider-Man Discord server and got banned from it. Swear to God.
you. Seems like something you would do. Just be like, I'm gonna
I mean,
go.
it was funny. It was
I'm just gonna go demolish a Spider-Man Discord server. That's what you would do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, have you seen Spider-Man fans? They don't even fuck with Spider-Man.
No.
I know one of them. So
But yeah,
okay,
you
so
know,
you
great,
think it's
great film. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, nutworthy. All right, that's all. That's it. That's all.
okay? We got his.
Continue.
I'm gonna put it in the link below. Not worthy.
All right, in the video.
That's all.
Doc, please
That's
put
all.
Marvel.
Wow.
Please make the title of this podcast like episode whatever. No Way Home was in all caps nutworthy.
Oh my gosh.
I will
That-
write the
that-
title and make the
That's
thumbnail.
a,
swear
that's a
to
cho-
God.
that's a choice for Marvel to decide.
Well,
And he has to say yes because there's
before
no other
we-
answer.
before we get down to whether we put nutworthy in the title or not, let's talk about Toby and Andrew. So Marvel, I kind of want to get your thoughts first. What did you think of? Well, first of all, what did you think of their performances? Because Toby's for me was definitely totally different from his performance in his own movies, but Andrew felt very connected to his films. I feel, and I think it has to do with Toby's version of Peter is older now.
Yeah.
He's gone through stuff that we don't even know about. They kept his kind of backstory between those years kind of secretive. But what did you think?
That man has seen some shit.
Yeah, he has.
To be fair, they both have.
Well, yeah,
Because-
I mean, Andrew
because-
Garfield's a murderer, pretty much. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, he's not a murderer. I've heard people say that. I disagree with that conclusion.
He literally said he went off the deep end. It's in the movie. They cut him in 4K.
Saying that he went off the deep end doesn't mean he killed people.
It implied murder, or at least a
Okay,
lot of
enough
violence.
bickering, girls. Let's let Marvel talk.
Fuck,
I mean,
Mom. This is my podcast.
Hey, I mean, I love.
We can talk.
I mean, I love seeing both of them, especially Toby, since it's been. I mean, since 2007, we haven't heard anything from his version of the character. I will say though that Andrew completely stole the show. Like he just did an amazing performance. Just
Honestly, my favorite performance of the movie. No offense to Holland.
That's why he's the go. I felt it, the stuff they did with Andrew, like the MJ scene especially, like they just fired out all cylinders, and he did an amazing job. There were some things like between both of them, which some stuff like was a neat, interesting idea. Some others were just kind of like, I don't like it. Kind of distracted me a little bit. Like I get like you don't want to mention James Franco at all, but like they just completely like ruined the whole kind of bit with Harry, and like
I agree.
When Toby mentioned is like, oh, did you have a best friend? I did. What happened to him? Oh, he died in my arms after he tried to kill me. It's like, did you just forget that like, he's sacrificed himself for you?
Also, I felt like just one thing when I saw that on the screen, I was like, am I supposed to laugh?
That's how I felt too. I
Well,
felt
also-
like, are you trying to
well, also, like-
joke, or are you
I
serious?
Like-
did laugh.
Like, am I supposed to laugh or am I supposed to feel bad? And then
That
like,
part I don't like it.
and then we even had Andrew said, "Dude."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little. I kind of cringed in the theater a little bit.
I was like,
They were doing a little
I'll
bit
laugh
too
my
much,
ass
and
off,
it
bro. It's a
felt forced.
funny ass movie.
okay. As I said in the chat, I'm gonna be back in a second.
Yeah,
Gotta get a
fine.
taco.
Yeah. Okay.
I just kick in from the Zoom call.
The French class.
I mean, as far as the Andrew thing, I felt it was an interesting idea to kind of, hint at the idea that, like, after he lost Gwen, he tried to be the best he could, but it just didn't work out. Which, I wouldn't have gone with, but yeah, I don't mind it, especially since, by the end of that movie, he's still, like, even when he puts the mask back on, he's still in a lot of pain. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, both of them did an amazing job. Like, Toby, though, like, I liked that he was a little bit more kind of upbeat, and like he wasn't just awkward or just that the entire time. He's having these fun conversations with everybody, and and it makes me want to see more of them. Like if say we do get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, or if we get Spider-Man 4, like I would love to see that. And like, so I think for the most part, like they did those characters justice. But like, my favorite thing about it is like just seeing them all interact with each other. Like, that was probably my favorite part of the whole movie, was just them having a conversation about past villains and stuff that they've gone through, and having a laugh about Toby's organic webs. Like,
It was funny.
I know, like that
Ever
shit.
get web block?
Yeah.
I think the funniest part for me was it felt not forced when Andrew said, he's like, you make your own fluid in your body, and I was like, he's so enamored with it, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. Yeah, that was great.
I like that they
That's
would.
why Andrew's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think you're on
I
drugs,
like
but
that
that's
they
just
would
me.
still be fixated on that, even though they're like about to go fight a
Fuck up,
bunch of people. They're just being like, so how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, they're just like waiting on villains to come and then just casually talking.
You know what though? It was weird how they kind of explain that, like with Toby saying, "Is like I don't really do breathing." Like that seems kind of strange to me, but I don't know how you would explain that. But
yeah.
But
what is it with them just making Spider-Man just depressed?
I goodbye, Alter.
Hey
No, I'm
man,
just kidding.
Motherfucker can't be happy once.
Well, look, Spider-Man can't be happy.
No.
I mean, people think of Spider-Man as like the most upbeat person, but he really is not. Judging from his story, I mean, sure he cracks jokes all the time, and he's a teenager. But I mean, the truth and the reality is he's a traumatized kid.
It's just borderline depressing.
Tom Holland's life is in shambles right now in the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I'm gonna real quick just jump in and tell you guys what I thought of Toby and Andrew.
Yeah.
I agree. Andrew stole the show. He had the best performance.
Hell yeah,
I think,
he did.
I mean, he was great. And after I saw the movie, I was like, I want to see more Andrew more than anybody else. Although I would love to see Toby again, and I would love to see Tom again too. But Andrew is just, we never got his complete story, and he was always like the Spider-Man that got away. He was the one that got away, and it would be really nice to see his story come to a close or something. Just not where it left off, because it did not leave on a high note.
No.
But I thought Toby definitely looked like a cool youth pastor. I agree. I think that the thing with Toby for me, though, in that movie is, I don't know if it's just me or I have to watch the movie again. He felt a little out of character, and maybe that's because obviously, like, like I said earlier, he grew as a person, and he's older now, and he's seen things, and he's
Are you talking about Toby?
and he's accepted the hardships that have gone throughout his life. But he just felt a little. He definitely didn't feel like the Toby that we knew in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, definitely.
He felt a little more.
He was
I don't
very
know.
much
He was
like an adult.
Yeah, and he wasn't very spunky anymore.
Yeah.
Like he was very stiff while saying his lines. Again, I'm not like bashing Toby or anything. I
He was
loved
like a
seeing
youth
him.
pastor.
He was like a youth pastor. I think Andrew was onto something.
How fitting.
Right. So yeah, but Andrew definitely stole the show, and he played a very emotional part.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell he was putting his all into it because he wanted to.
Oh yeah,
And
no, for sure.
It wasn't like, this is in the script, they want me to do this. He wanted to convey his care and nurture of the character and how much he related to Spider-Man. I think that it was a beautiful performance.
That's why he's always been my favorite, because he really just had a complete love for the character. And also, just as an actor, he puts everything he has into every role that he has.
Yeah, love them both. Toby just,
the likelihood of him showing up in Morbius 2, or not Morbius 2, just Morbius. What the fuck?
He'll be in it.
High right now. I'm sorry.
He'll be in it.
If that movie ever comes out.
Yeah, you know what's funny is what I thought is Morbius is now released. The release date is April Fool's Day. Watch on April Fool's Day. They'll be like, "Ha, April Fools." It's actually April 25th.
I said this on Twitter.
April Fool's. It's actually April 1st, 2023.
I said this on Twitter when the news came out. I was like, man, even Sony thinks this movie is a joke.
Yeah, I think Andrew's definitely in it. Also because of the leaks on like the internet and stuff of him being in the cast.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll probably be in it.
Toby will return then?
In what?
I mean, he might in Multiverse.
I think he's probably in Multiverse, but whether we'll see him as like Spider-Man in another Spider-Man movie, I have no idea.
I mean, I would love that.
I mean,
me too.
There's like leaks of him going to be in like a Secret Wars movie. So like, just wanted to ask you guys' opinion on like, do you think he'll come back in any like big role in like a Secret Wars film, and I guess Multiverse of Madness as well?
I wouldn't say never. Like I wouldn't say that it's not possible, because
we'll never say never. Yeah.
Yeah, never say never. I think
unless it's Gotham Knights releasing this year, but no.
Yeah.
Continue.
Gotham Knights isn't releasing. You're lying.
I think the most likely thing would be in Multiverse of Madness. If Multiverse of Madness does really well, there's potentially a possibility that they'd let Sam Raimi do like some version of Spider-Man 4. I don't know.
I mean, this movie did really well, so Sony knows that like they can pull out those cards at any time. You know, we'll just eat that shit up. So like,
Sony and Marvel, they're not like Warner Brothers. They'll actually do what the fans want.
if it gives them money.
Warner Brothers doesn't care if it makes money or not. They're not doing it.
Though they are doing it.
Another thing
Flash.
Another thing that I appreciate, with them bringing them back is like they didn't do anything too drastic with them, like even in the costumes they kept them really generally the same. Which I mean, for Andrew, I would have preferred. I mean, this is more just a me thing, but I like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit over like the second movie, like just as a general look. But
wow,
I'm glad that they kept the cost. Like they didn't do anything to kind of mess with them. And I put them into in the creative process. They didn't just write for them. And call it a day.
They let them have a say in, how their version of the character was portrayed, which was really nice.
Yes, King.
And I do agree with the suit in the first movie is the best.
Do we have anything else to chime in before we move on about Toby and Andrew?
I don't know.
Andrew's the best. That's all I gotta say.
What was that, Alter?
Fantastic. Just move on. We already know. The movie's been out for 2 months.
All right. Let's talk about the villains.
Yeah.
Because that for me, that was the one thing I was really worried about. I mean, besides them messing up Andrew and Toby, like the villains is what I was worried that they were going to fuck up the most, especially with characters like Doc Ock and Green Goblin and such. But gotta say, they did pretty well with them too, for the most part, anyway.
Yeah. Does anybody want to give their thoughts on the villains first?
I mean, I'm gonna just say real quick that I think personally, people might be mad at me for saying this, but I think William Dafoe's portrayal of Green Goblin in this is, one of the best comic book villain performances ever. It's better than his original 2002 performance, in my opinion. Might even be like Heath Ledger quality. It's not as good as Heath Ledger's Joker, but
no, I
William
wouldn't say
Dafoe's
it's that
Green
level.
Goblin it's up there.
No, it is. I
no
think
one would. It's Heath Ledger's Joker. Jesus Christ.
I think that I just think the dedication that he has comes through the most. Because like he really put himself in that role.
Yeah. I mean, Willem Dafoe is just he's a amazing actor.
Now, your statement about exactly the only statement I would maybe challenge, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree. It's just I've been thinking about it. Is that a lot of people are saying that this is better than his original role as Green Goblin, but I
wouldn't say that.
I rewatched Spider-Man 2002 a few days ago, and his performance is incredible in that too.
Yeah. Also,
a different kind of Goblin
man than Thanos.
What was that?
I'm more scared of that 60-year-old man than Thanos.
Oh no, so am I. I would be too, because he just doesn't. He's a psychopath and he's a murderer. Whereas I mean, Thanos is that too, but Thanos has some type of a reasoning behind it.
He's on to something.
Like Goblin is the Joker of Marvel in a sense.
Definitely the Joker of Spider-Man.
Yeah, total disregard for human life and doesn't really have any solid reasoning behind killing people necessarily because it's the Goblin. It's not actually Norman. But I don't know. I would just digress that.
Speaking of Joker 2 video.
We shall save that for another video.
Yes.
But yeah.
In like 30 minutes.
Basically, all I would say about the villains is that I thought they were really good, especially Doc Ock and Green Goblin. I also thought Jamie Foxx was really good. Yeah. Because I knew they could.
Yeah.
I knew that he couldn't be any worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2. But then I saw the movie. Yeah, I was surprisingly I thought he was surprisingly good.
Gave him that dumbass starfish mask. It's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, that was great.
Lizard was the worst out of them all.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything, and his reason. The human evolution of lizards. Like, come on, bro.
They reused footage for like half of his scenes anyway.
They did that for Sandman too. Yeah.
I didn't expect them to do anything with Sandman or Lizard. I knew they were gonna make a joke out of Lizard, and I figured that Sandman wasn't gonna do all that much. So that really wasn't a surprise to me.
If you want a good Lizard movie, go watch The Amazing Spider-Man 1. It's the best Spider-Man movie since, well, I guess now No Way Home is the best Spider-Man movie, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just completely forgot about Lizard. Like, just
Yeah, yeah.
they really had
I forgot he
nothing.
was in this movie till Swiftly said that, bro.
Yeah, they
Like-
had
Like
nothing.
when he got cured, you could really, really tell that was reused footage.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, the
you-
same
it
When
was
they
obvious.
send stuff, I feel like you would have the same reaction to being cured. Just kind of just look at himself and be like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, Sandman. I could understand it because like they filmed this in a pandemic, so I mean, you're not really going to get all the actors in, especially since they might be scheduled or whatever the case. Like, but so I don't mind them using older footage to kind of convey like them curing them or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I just wish they were given more to do, especially Sandman, because he just has his action scene at the start where he shows up, and then for a whole thing of it, it's nothing, and then it's just like, oh, give me the box so I can go see my that's it. And,
Yeah.
it's just lame.
Is it ever explained what that box really does?
It sends them back home. That's all I know.
Well, I know it does that, but like, I don't know, I've seen way too many theory videos on No Way Home. I think my brain's just fried.
Yeah, I still don't understand what happens when they get sent back home. It's like, are they sent back to the point where they're taken from?
Because there was this one theory I saw that like it was something like it was like saying that like the box was like a reference to some 70s Doctor Strange comic book, and saying that it was like gonna once the villains got sent back to their universe that it would kill them in the process, which is why they said like Lizard and Sandman were gonna die, was because that process would kill them. Which is actually a pretty decent theory. I'm gonna link that actually in the group chat.
So before like we move on, like my kind of general thoughts. I mean, Green Goblin is amazing, like top tier, definitely. Like I would say like top 5 MCU villain. I know we kind of mentioned, his performance compared to, the 2002 movie. I find them equally matched for different reasons. Like 2002, like I love that kind of goofy nature of everything. But No Way Home, like he was actually legitimately threatening, and like
That shit was dark.
I'd be fucking terrified of that.
I think it's because Willem Dafoe is such a like facial, expressionistic actor that it was really smart to get rid of the helmet early on. So we had the creepier goblin, Willem Dafoe himself.
Mhm.
That sounds racist.
What?
Even though I love that helmet, and I was kind of sad to see it go early on, it does.
Same.
It does benefit the story, like just having,
Yeah.
because Willem Dafoe already looks like a goblin, so
He's got the perfect
Again,
like
that's got to be
facial. No. He's got like the perfect facial structure for a Green Goblin.
Yeah. Doc Ock they did surprisingly well on, and even Electro too. But yeah, I wish if there was anything, I wish like they did more with Lizard and Sandman. Another thing too is that like I still don't know how I feel about the Goblin look by the end of it, where it's like it's just kind of all shredded up, and it does have the purple in there mixed with the green, but yeah, I don't know. But
honestly, I think they could have just not had Lizard and Sandman, and the story would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean,
because
it wasn't
like,
even a Sinister Six movie like everybody
Yeah.
was thinking, right?
like I just
Fantastic
think
Five movie.
I just think they weren't involved enough in the story to warrant them actually being in it.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love those, like, depictions of the characters, they didn't really need to be there.
Oh yeah. Speaking of characters, they do absolutely nothing with Venom.
Oh god, I was so
Yeah, they
disappointed.
set that up for nothing.
That-
I was
that-
hyped, bro. I was
that
I
was-
was hyped.
Honestly, that was such a Venom thing to do.
You knew how hyped I was when I saw Let There Be Carnage in theaters, and I waited for that after credits.
I still haven't seen either of those movies.
Bro, okay, the first Venom you might not like, but the second Let There Be Carnage, that's a great movie.
They're
I
just
like
a lot
both
of
of them.
fun. Like both of them
I mean, I
are.
like both of them too, but I know, Jesus Christ, I can't talk. I know people don't really like the first one.
Well, it's never been like a strong, like, oh, this looks terrible, I don't want to watch it. It's just, I don't feel a strong need to watch it. Either of them.
Mhm.
If you just want a decent comic book movie, man, just go watch Let There Be Carnage. Woody Harrelson as Carnage is just top tier.
Mhm. But yeah, it was so sad to see that whole setup and like there's no meetup at all whatsoever, and yeah, it sucked.
That was just really dumb. Like, well, honestly, you could have just taken out Lizard and Sandman, and stick in Venom.
Yeah.
Would have worked perfectly.
Have you guys seen that original like plot idea where they were gonna have Toby die, but then the Venom symbiote comes and revives him, and it gives him the black suit again?
Yes, yeah, I saw that.
I
And
mean, I feel like that'd be kind of badass.
honestly, that sounds really dumb. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, it would. It could go either one of two ways. It can go really dumb, or it could be really.
Well,
cool.
it just sounds.
Or maybe it's just because I want to see Bully McGuire again.
It just
Gonna
sounds
put
really fan fiction-y.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean,
Doesn't this whole movie sound like a big fan fiction though?
that's true. Yeah, I actually agree with Alter on that one.
Yes, but also it sounds like really bad Wattpad fan fiction.
The type you right?
Oh, I'm so tired of all this arguing.
Technically, I'm not arguing. I'm just
tired
making
of
a
it, dude.
statement.
I'm kidding.
Your statement's fucking wrong.
Guys, let's continue with the podcast.
Let's get into action, because
Yeah.
I mean, comparing this to like the other two in the trilogy, like they did a tremendous job with action. Like it's not the best action scenes ever, but like it's still pretty good. Especially like, my favorite is still like or one of my favorites. It's either the final battle with Goblin or the bridge scene with Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
The bridge scene was so good.
Also, the Green Goblin versus Spider-Man fight at the apartment was great too.
That was pretty good.
I mean, the scene where Tom nearly shanks William Dafoe was a pretty good scene.
That was so intense.
Yeah.
Toby took one for the team. That man left in pain.
Shit out of
Yeah.
That was brutal for a Marvel movie. Just him just wailing on him.
Yeah. And I thought that was just the perfect perfect moment for Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really
And
want
then-
Sonny D right now. Jesus.
Because it really hadn't showed him being that angry.
No. Yeah. Well, you know. I really like the fact that they actually delved into that, you know.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, Tom Holland's been, you know, mostly kind of, you know, cheery and excited at, you know, fighting these bad guys or whatever.
Boy, Iron Man.
And
He's just, for a good amount of his appearances, he's been pretty vanilla.
Why? Because he's white racist.
All right, I'll make it non-racist. He's been pretty mid. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
In the other
I'm fine with
movies.
that.
Well, that's discriminate to all middle.
To all mids across the world.
Yeah, all mids across the world.
And then also too the fight in the mirror dimension I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was super trippy, and I loved it.
Spider-Man was a nerd and won a fight.
I love that whole concept of, especially when he says the line, you know what's cooler than magic? Math. I love that. It was very Spider-Man like.
That's not cool at
I was
all.
gonna say it feels a lot like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just it felt really Peter Parker.
It's like nerd is coming out and
Because like only a nerd would say that.
Yeah.
How would you know?
Because
yeah,
I'm
you're
not
not
a
Spider-Man. Should we get into problems about the movie? Because I have.
Let's dive into Aunt May real quick. She's dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
She died. Yeah, she
All right,
be
now
dead.
moving on. We're gonna.
She got shanked by Goblin.
Here's the thing, because
It's a waste of ass, man.
Last recording, and I still stand by this. I don't feel like that. I mean, that death scene, while emotional, I don't feel was earned.
I agree with you completely. She did not have Uncle Ben status. She was not meaningful enough in the other movies to. I don't really think she deserved to say that line at that point yet. With great power comes great responsibility.
Shut
Too, is
up.
that another thing?
The
Too,
movie
about
is good.
like,
can I say something?
sure.
I a little while ago I would definitely agree with you, but like rewatching the movies, kind of gave me a new perspective on this. I mean, especially Homecoming. I really like the way they portrayed her character in that. And I wasn't 100% on the whole. Oh, she's super young, and then there's the whole happy thing. That was a little dumb, but
she's hot.
Alter, shut up.
And that's her whole character.
Okay, just let me speak.
It's a good character trait.
Let me finish the sentence. Let me finish my sentence. I really liked having her as more of a, at least in Homecoming, a just acting like an aunt. That's one thing I liked about her being younger, is that as much as I love the other Aunt Mays, I do not have an aunt who's like 80 years old.
No.
And in Homecoming and in No Way Home, she really felt like I related to that relationship between Peter and Aunt May, and I felt like she was pretty down to earth in those two movies. Not Far From Home, but the first and last movie of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still don't think she deserved that line.
Plus, it just kind of came out of nowhere. So I mean, I wasn't expecting it.
I don't completely disagree with you guys that it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfectly built up. And she probably shouldn't have said it all the way, but I don't know. I liked it.
Well, you know what I think?
Oh, damn, Paul Dano's in this movie?
I think Tom Holland Spider-Man in this movie should have done when she said, with great power comes great responsibility. He should have said, I have a father. His name was Ben Parker. And then Godspeed, Aunt May. And then gets shanked by the goblins glider. But or he could have said, "Dig on."
Should have just been, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye and just put her down.
He could have done that, or he could have said, he could have said any Bully McGuire. I'll take the staff job, double the money.
She should have said that, bro. She should have said that.
Yeah, just Tom's looking in a mirror and Aunt May show.
You know what would have been really funny?
What?
Have Tom Holland just straight scream, "Green Goblin, I'll chase you to the end of the earth!"
If you guys are watching this and don't know what that is, go watch the '90s show.
Yes.
Now.
Go watch that specific clip.
I would have screamed I would have screamed in the theater if they did that, but no.
Bro, they need to, okay. So Spider-Man 4, the MCU Spider-Man 4, bro, they have to have Shocker as the main villain.
Yes.
Main villain?
I mean, I know he was already in Homecoming, but we need to bring him back.
Just so they can do that line.
Oh.
Yeah, have him come in just for a short, brief second, just like a montage of Peter stopping crime. I need him to just run after Shocker and go, Shocker!
It's another thing too, and I mean, people have been saying, this is the movie where he finally becomes Spider-Man, and this is what this entire trilogy is building him. To me, yes, that is the case somewhat, but I still feel like it was kind of half-assed, especially since the other movies were basically doing the same thing.
No, it wasn't.
I think I'm on the middle ground of I guess I'll call it the Homecoming trilogy or something. Home trilogy, I don't know. Between High Top Films and all of that, and then just completely loving the entire thing. Just kind of in the middle on that.
High Top Films is wrong. Just objectively.
Because I think, both sides are have skewed opinions, which, you can have whatever opinion you want. But I don't think at least in my opinion, the Home trilogy wasn't really all the way either way. It's not perfect, and it's not the worst travesty in all of cinema.
No Way Home broke me.
Yeah.
Listen, I like High Top Films as a content creator.
Yeah, I do too.
Dumb shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home burned our crops and poisoned the water supply.
It's just the more that I think about, the whole Aunt May situation and the whole, great power, great responsibility, the more that I'm they shouldn't, we didn't really need this at all because, Civil War and Homecoming, they already did that in a kind of subtle way and it worked.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
And said great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, I mean,
I do agree with you on they already did it and they did it the right way, but also I thought it worked with the flow of the story, the way they're going. There needed to be some kind of moment there. They already did it. It was already one and done, but the way the flow of the story kind of required something like that.
I mean, if you're going to have that, though, why not just have it between the three Peters? I feel like that would have been much more impactful. I mean, everybody would have saw that coming, but it would have been more effective that way to have both of them just kind of sitting him down and just be like, hey,
Though they still kind of did that while also having the Aunt May thing.
Yeah.
Having the whole conversation about with great power comes great responsibility. You shouldn't kill a Green Goblin, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew my uncle.
Yeah. So, with this, I don't know what they're going to do with that whole freshman year series that they're doing for Disney Plus, but I feel like it's just gonna kind of confuse things. At least that's what for me anyway. So that was mainly my big problem with the movie is just how that whole kind of exchange and just how that whole thing was set up and what it did for the movie going forward. After that, it just felt very haphazard to me.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other kind of general complaints?
Oh, Dan,
I basically agree with that.
Oh, sorry.
I guess it's not really a complaint because I understand why they did it, but having only one scene of Matt Murdock,
Yeah.
it made me sad. I wanted more.
Should have had that courtroom scene.
They should have just. I don't care how long you make it. I just want more, Matt.
They should have just made a Daredevil movie. They shouldn't have even made No Way Home. Should have just made Daredevil the movie. Should have made the Daredevil verse and have Ben Affleck come in.
Honestly, imagine if they brought in Daredevil for the final fight, have Daredevil beat up Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Daredevil single-handedly saves the multiverse.
Yes.
The 3 Spider-Men do absolutely nothing, and he's just over there. He's taking them all on, one-on-one.
He's just beating Norman's face and just being like, "This is my city."
You can't destroy who I
I was
am.
about to quote Arrow. I'm so stupid. Oh my god, I was about to say you ruined the city.
You can't destroy who I am. This city beat you. I beat you.
I am glad we did get that cameo, and
Yeah. I am glad I'm glad that we got what we got, but since I'm very selfish, I wanted more Matt Murdock.
I too agree with that. I wish we could have gotten more. You know what too, and I guess is another thing I just thought of is they just kind of quickly breeze over the fact that the whole world knows who he is and his whole life just kind of goes to shit.
I
wish
think
we had a little bit more time with that.
Well, I think they brushed over the legal ramifications, but they dwelled on the social ramifications.
Yeah.
They could have They could have done She-Hulk. She-Hulk versus Daredevil legal battle.
Yeah.
Do Ace Attorney scene with
Objection!
Charlotte Cox.
Anyway, so I'm excited for the new Spider-Man trilogy, which is probably going to be more street level, which is the Spider-Man that I like more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just give me Daredevil.
I just prefer street level heroes more, bro. I don't even care about Avengers or Justice League, bro. Give me Moon Knight and Batman.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need a break from huge level threats first.
Yeah, because I just think in general, we don't need to keep having the biggest movies every time because we're gonna get. I mean, I was feeling I've been feeling a little bit of fatigue with how much Marvel content we're getting and how much big Marvel content we're getting. I just think there needs to be a balance.
Yeah, because we're getting a bunch of multiverse stuff, and then we had all the Avengers and Eternals.
Yeah, and all the Disney Plus shows too.
Thing you want to throw in DC.
I just want some more
the Flash
personal. I want some more personal stuff,
Yeah.
Just
So the Batman comes out in exactly 30 days.
Yeah, the Batman is what I'm asking for.
Yeah, just more.
I just want every movie to be the Batman.
Yes. Every
And
superhero movie.
Joker was a great film.
I still haven't watched that.
You're a terrible person for that.
I mean, as far as quality-wise, yes, I would love to have movies that are just as good as the Batman, but I don't want every movie to be just like the Batman.
I absolutely agree. I just want, I basically just want character-driven superhero movies with less, I love
Listen,
the,
I need my Heroes for Hire Marvel Knights movie.
yes.
All right, we need Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Deadpool, that whole team.
I love how you
Need a
just
movie of
threw
that.
in.
If we're
I
doing
love how
team up
you
movies,
just
we need
threw
that team up
in
movie.
Deadpool with that whole group of.
Well, he was with the
Yeah.
Heroes for Hire for a while. Him and Luke Cage.
He's just such an odd character to throw in with all of those.
That's my favorite Marvel character is Deadpool.
I know. He's just an odd one out.
He
Yeah, I
fits
think
better in the MCU than he did in the X-Men universe, because in the X-Men universe, he didn't really have much to go off of.
Anyway.
Yes. Like,
Anyways.
I mean, I don't really have much else to say about the movie myself. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I've just, I've externalized all that I have said, all that I could say about Spider-Man to every single human being I've talked to ever since I watched it.
yeah. Swifty, you
In
want to?
conclusion, Andrew Garfield, please sign a contract.
For sure.
Yes.
Why
Put
not?
Andrew-
Andrew Garfield's funny.
Put Andrew Garfield in every movie for the rest of time.
I don't know if I
I
need that
want
much.
him to play Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Batman. I want him to play everyone.
Yes.
All right, it sounds like Marvel. We got a couple fanboys here, but that's okay.
I
So
want Andrew Garfield to have my children.
Not gonna go that far.
And on that,
I am.
end the video.
On that note, guys, thank you all for watching this episode of the Speaking Nerd podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought of No Way Home. And give us your full rundown.
Yeah.
So be sure to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and we will see you all in the next.